Hi everyone, this is Brad Cummings from BoardGameGeek.com, and I'm here talking to Zach from Threadbare Games, and we're just going to talk about maybe some of what you're up to if you just want to walk us through some of the things you're working on. Cool.
Yeah. Hopefully you can hear me. It's awfully loud at PAX. Good, awesome. Yeah, so Threadbare Games is a collection of 6 guys hanging out in what used to be my garage in Oakland, California, but now we're located in the beautiful Tribune Tower in Oakland. It's a giant evil genius lair with a shrink ray which we're threatening the moon with. And we're making digital board games for the iOS market specifically, for all the reasons that you normally expect. iOS market is where most of the money is, and it's got a platform that is fairly well contained, unlike Android. We'd love to bring our games to other platforms too, but we're trying to launch things very quickly. We're trying to build and launch a game every three to 4 months. We've launched one game and we're getting ready to release our second game, and I'll walk you through them both in a second here. But fundamentally what we're trying to build is a place for a collection of games for gamers who really like turn-based strategy games and like making new stuff for their friends. So all these games have at their underpinnings the Threadbare platform, which lets people who are still somewhat technically inclined, but as time goes on, the barrier to entry will get lower. Make new maps, make new characters, all that kind of stuff for releasing to the community. Our first game, which we made in 3 months, is called Shifts, and Shifts is a game of space exploration. It's a single-player board game. There are no enemies. There's no AI. But it is a really hard game. You play as the captain of a starship, the last starship of humanity, fleeing Earth after a nanobot swarm has devoured it and trying to find new homes. As you play the game has a lot of similarities to things like ghost stories. So as I say, it's a really hard game. You'll find a bunch of things that happen to your ship as you're playing. Most of these games you'll lose. Only about 15 to 20% of playthroughs actually result in wins, and it's very, very hard to win, like I said. So each turn you're going to do 2 things. You're going to look at the crises that are affecting your ship. Your ship's falling apart, it's a prototype, your AI is insane, your robots don't really work that well, you're trying to preserve some resources. You've got fuel, hull integrity, and arcs, which are the resource that you need to win. If any of those reach 0 at the end of a turn, you lose. You're going to fly around the galaxy trying to find new planets to colonize, and those planets will have little power-ups and that kind of thing. So you'll see I have these crises down here that all do various things, and those match up with icons for my officers. And each of my officers has a certain ability to fix a problem, and they can be sent off to fix a problem. So let's say here, I've got it looks like a hull breach, so I'll send my engineer off to fix that problem. I'm going to assign her to a work shift. Each turn is spent with 3 shifts, with each of my officers taking turns. Do that. That's my medical officer, and I'll put my navigator over here. The officers that aren't assigned to a shift are interfaced with the ship's AI. They have a superpower that they unlock. Only when they are interface do they get. So here we go. I've assigned everybody correctly. You can see I'm making some progress towards these events, although none of them are fixed yet. I'll start my turn, and I'll go into the exploration phase. The exploration phase is what's going to let me fly around the map and look for planets. So I'll tap my ship here, and you can see all the different things that I can do. Now, only some of them work right now. For example, I can't fix my ship because my engineer's off fighting a problem. So if my hull were low, I'd be screwed. But I'm going to scan, and I can do that because I have my science officer interface, and there you go. There's some systems and some information. Come on. And I'll keep scanning. All right, so a little question mark means that there's probably a planet that I can explore. I can send somebody down to the surface and see what happens. So you can see where I can move, and I can move 2 squares this time because my navigator's interfaced with the ship, unlocking faster movement. Fly the ship. Oh, I only clicked once. That was silly of me, and then some bad things happen. So each turn, it's assigning my officers, taking some damage, or moving around, doing it again. And that's the whole game, really. So let's walk you through actually finding a planet. Let's see, I'll put that over there, and I'll put that over there, and I'll put that over here, and I'll put that over here. There we go. You can tap on any of these guys and learn a little more about them. We have a long backstory about these people. Our blog.threadbaregames.com, has a really well-written and exciting set of novellas about each of the characters and the history of the world. So here we go. Like I said, it's a single-player board game. It's meant for people who really like board games, and it's meant to be played when you don't have a lot of time. You know, you've got 10 minutes, you're on the bus, you want to play a game by yourself, you don't have a network connection, it's there. Every time you play the game, it's different. It's procedurally generated. Here we go. Some things happened. And specifically what's happened here is my AI has found a habitable planet for me. There were some alien ruins on that ship, or on that planet, that let me go, that gave me a clue to fly over there, so I'm going to fly over there. Now, unfortunately, I've just used all my actions for the turn, so I can't do anything. So now, you can see that things are getting pretty low. I'm running low on fuel, it costs me fuel to move. If that reaches 0, I blow up. I don't want to lose, I don't like losing. So I'm going to try to fix that this turn. And in order to make new fuel, you can see that the interface power of my engineering officer is to get a bonus refuel. You can refuel any time, but she makes it better. And you also see the people that have been working on shift are now getting tired. Right, there's a fatigue mechanic built in. So I'll just do this here. Let's also clear some crises. So I could add robots, that's our funny name for robots, to make progress on crises. And see, I've filled this bar up, so that's going to go away at the end of this turn. And the person whose crisis that is, my medical officer, will get some experience for it. Here we go. Teleporting down to the planet, and I found a planet I can colonize. And now I'm 1 out of 4 away from winning, and that's the game. That's it entirely.
Awesome. And so this is currently available for iOS. Are you going to target any other platforms as well?
Sure. Yeah, it's currently just iOS, just iPad only right now. We intend to bring it to the iPhone soon, and Android later. I mean, we're using the Cocos engine, the open source game library underneath the hood, so it's not that hard to repurpose that, but it requires more time. And what we're working on right now is another game. This game has done pretty well, and people have loved it. We've got some great positive reviews from Board Game Geek, Pocket Tactics, a couple other places like that. And our community has started to grow around it, which is always really awesome. If people want to find out more about this game and what we're up to, they can follow us on Twitter at Threadbare Games, or on our blog at blog.threadbaregames.com.
Great, thank you. Could we see a little bit of the new game, or is that kind of still under wraps?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
This game is still very rough. So there's no splash screen or anything fancy like that yet. The game's called Terra Omega, and in Terra Omega, you play the commander of a bunch of ragtag rebels fighting back against aliens who have invaded and colonized Earth. Here we go. My job in this mission is to kill them all. I like killing aliens. You can see here are my guys, and actually this person's art is not in place yet, but eventually it'll be a medic. And here's my soldiers. So there's 3 different classes for the game. There's soldiers, medics, and snipers. At release, the soldiers and medics will be free, and the sniper you'll pay for if you want. It's got a pretty innovative mechanic in that you assign all the movement for everybody simultaneously. So at the same time as I choose my actions, my facing, and then do that. The aliens are going to do the same thing too. Aliens have an AI behind the scenes. Right now it's only a single player game. I'm going to click go, and you're going to watch everybody move. Okay, so now we're ready to shoot. There's a simultaneous movement phase, which you just saw, and now there's going to be a simultaneous action phase, shooting. So this person's right in front of him, so I'm going to shoot him. This person can't hit them because they're behind a column, and neither can this person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my sprint action, and I'm going to run around behind them. Trying to take up a better position. And you can see that they took some damage, I took some damage, and now I'm in a good place. Except that I've got an alien who snuck up on me. That's not pleasant. I'm going to run around the back of him. And I'm going to try to dance around this guy too. There we go. The game has facing built in. It's a hex-based game. Blocking terrain, slowing terrain, all that kind of stuff. And now I'm going to go ahead and keep shooting. You can see that my sprint power now is on cooldown. Not at release. release, but shortly thereafter, each class will have a set of talent trees that'll be unlocked. You'll learn XP for killing things, you'll level them up, all that good stuff. There you go. There you go, I've killed somebody. That's the game.
Very cool. And will this have like a campaign mode that you're going through?
Yeah, so there'll be a multi-mission campaign mode that you can play. We'll also have additional map packs that you can buy. And then eventually, because this is built on the Threadbare platform, we are going to allow fan-built maps to be submitted. We'll still moderate them to make sure that they're not broken and they're still fun, but ideally what we want is the community who likes these sorts of games to make as much content for each other as possible, because nothing sucks more in a strategy game than playing it all and having no more content and being done with it even if you want to play it more. That's the problem I ran into with Great Big War Game.
Very cool. Well, it seems like a really great experience, and we'll look forward to this and the other stuff you guys are working on. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate your time.